Everyone. Can you hear me okay? I'm on a brand new computer. So.
I can hear you.
Perfect. Okay. Perfect. I got a new computer for my birthday, so I had to download Zoom and I was running late. So, let's see. Okay. Amy, are you on here? Okay. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Okay. First, let me do something really quick. Let's see. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to get started. I've got my friend on here, and you've probably seen her on Facebook. She's going through the ranks. She's just, and she's her and I have a ton of fun together. So Amy and I have been friends. I'll tell you a little bit about her. I still see people jumping on. So give it just a few more seconds. Make sure everybody's muted that way. Okay. We'll go ahead and start. So again, welcome, Wendy Hatton, and I want you guys to meet my friend Amy Todd. Her and I go way back. You've heard the story. I used to own those franchises, those Merrill Normans. I used to rent off of her family. So Amy was my hairstylist, and I rented our stores off of them. And when I joined this company, I always knew she'd be great. If you ever had that person you tried to recruit for years, it was her. And she's like, no, not interested. So now you're seeing her like blow it up through the ranks. And she's a lot of fun. And I think you're going to be surprised of how she's bringing people into the business. I mean, she's very real. And her energy is contagious. I think we talk about that. You can be around someone and you just feel it. And you want to be a part of that. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce my friend. I want her to tell you a little bit how she got started. So my friend, the new area marketing director, Amy Todd.
Hey, everyone. I'm really not this nervous. I've been in the sun today. But I am nervous, I'll be honest. But so anyhow, like Wendy said, she'd asked me several times, about not directly, but about joining the business. And I just always said, I didn't want to sell anything. And being a hairstylist, everyone wants you to sell what they're selling. And so I just never had any interest in it. And honestly, I never had any interest in her product. But anyway, long story short, my husband was building Wendy's house, and he felt sorry for her and wanted to help her out and join the business, or just buy the products. But, of course, he wanted to buy a package and stuff from her. So I still didn't want to do it. I didn't feel sorry for her. So anyway, he's really the one that joined the business. And we got the kit and we got it home. And it sat on my kitchen table for a long time. And I was using some skincare from the dermatologist. And I've used Accutane twice in my life. And
everybody, Amy. Okay, go ahead.
So anyway, I had no desire to use the product, and
never had one before. So okay, sorry.
Okay, well, it's getting ready to get crazy here because my whole family's coming in. So get ready for that. You're gonna see some real right here. I'm gonna text them all, tell them to be quiet. So anyway, I had no desire to use the product, and I literally threw everything in that kit away after a few months except a set of skincare. And I just got tired of looking at all that stuff. I had, nothing to do with it, and I threw it all away. And I kept a set of skincare out of it. And long story short, I ran out of one of the bottles of stuff that I was using from the dermatologist. And those 3 bottles of stuff that I used were over $600. And so anyway, it was about the time school was out and just the kids in sports and just busy and stuff. And, I thought, well, I could run over there and get it, but it just having to do something with your kids, get a sitter and do that and whatever. So I just thought, well, I'll just use that since it's in there until my next appointment, which was about 3.5 weeks away. And so anyway, I started using it, and I never thought anything about it. And 3.5 weeks came up time for my appointment, and like I said, the kids were home from school, and it's just, it's effort to get a sitter so you can go over and get your facial done and whatever. So I didn't go, and I kept using my skincare, my Neora skincare. And so anyway, I wound up not going the entire summer. I didn't go back to get my facial that I was paying monthly for until September, after the kids went back to school. And when I go in, the esthetician, she says, wow, your skin's in great shape. What have you been using? And I'll be honest, I was a little bit embarrassed to tell her about it. And she said, I said, what do you think the difference in that is and the stuff that I get here? And she goes, oh, honey, she said, there's no comparison to that in medical grade skincare. I was like, okay, well, she's probably right. So I left there that day, and I bought over $600 worth of products, and I came home and I started using, my stuff from the dermatologist again. And about 1.5 to 2 weeks later, I could totally feel and see my skin going backwards. And so I thought, was that stuff that was, being so kind to my skin? And so I went back and I started using it again. And, sure enough, my skin just immediately started feeling better, and just that light, clean feeling, my skin, I felt like I could just exfoliate every single day. And, using this product, I didn't feel that way. And so anyway, that's when I called Wendy, and I was like, okay, well, I love this stuff. I love it. And put me on auto ship. And then, of course, she wants me to sell it. And I'm like, but I ain't selling anything, so don't even ask. So anyway, and then a few months later, I had a client of mine. She comes to me every 4 weeks, and she comes to me after she's left the chiropractor and the massage therapist. And she has really thin hair, like you can see her scalp thin. And so she's just we're having a really hard time with her hair. I mean, like, she's literally ready for a wig. And so I just said to her one day, I said, Miss Joyce, I said, I don't know what else to do for you. I said, I'm using this skincare that I love. I love it. I've not used a supplement one, but I said, I've seen these testimonials about this Youth Factor product that people have grown hair. Their hair growth results have just been crazy, really. And like, as well as I do, there's nothing on the market to grow hair. So she said, I'll try it. She said, I'll try anything. And so I just gave her to Wendy, and in 90 days, her A1C went from 8.11 to 7.6. And just a few weeks ago, she was back at my salon, and her 6th checkup went from, it had dropped another over 0.5 point. So that was kind of my first little customer. And I thought, well, these products, they must work. And she said, she was so pumped. She was like, nothing has ever worked. This is the only thing I've ever done. I've not done anything different. This is the only thing I've done. Nothing has ever lowered my A1C like that. So she was sold, and at the same time I was being sold too, and just really didn't realize it. Well, then my friend Amy, who was using the same skincare that I was, I told her, I said, Amy, I'm not using that stuff anymore that we were using. I said, this stuff really works. And it truly, it delivers. It works. And so she's like, well, just order me some of it too. So I just called Wendy, and Wendy ordered her some of it. And then, a few weeks later, Wendy asked me, she said, to make a Facebook post. And I told her I'd make a Facebook post for her. And as soon as I seen all that rolling in, I started seeing dollar signs, and then I was sold. So, and that's just kind of my story, how I got started. It was kind of a trick, but That's a good trick. It was a good trick, a really good trick. But anyhow, that's the story. But my skin has never been, it's not great all the time. I mean, I still have, problematic skin, but it's the best it's ever been in my life. Totally. So that's my story of how I got started.
Okay. So if you're on here and you're thinking, oh my gosh, that person, I never could get them to do anything or get them to get started in the business, don't give up on them. Amy had to get confident in it. And that was the thing where when she ran out of her expensive skincare, she started using ours. And I told her, I said, Amy, did you really think that I was lying to you? I mean, I was the biggest skincare snob there was, but it took her having that belief. And then after she got that, I think it just started going that she tells people her story. So, Amy, people ask me all the time, how do you now contact people? Are you sending them text messages about the opportunity? I mean, you're recruiting like crazy. So tell us what you're doing. Is it through text?
Actually, I really don't text anyone about the business. I don't message anyone about the business. No, but go away, okay? So I don't ever message anyone or Facebook anyone or text anyone about the business. I try to be consistent with my post, and I always try to like and comment everything anybody puts on my post. If it's just like a silly comment to me, like, oh, you're so beautiful, I'll try to come back to them and say something because it keeps my post alive and active. And so that's one thing I try to pay close attention. And, like I say in the salon, like, I've been doing hair for 20 years. Like I always say, you got to slobber and hug and fall all over people to keep them. And I try to do that on Facebook. Honestly, I try to just really make people feel good when they comment on my post. And, cause let's be real, we all like for somebody to pay attention to us and talk to us when you comment. Like, I don't like to comment on somebody's stuff and them not like say, well, thanks, or give me a thumbs up or something, And I'm not a real sensitive person either, but I mean, I just do think it makes people feel good when you respond to them. So I do always try to do that. And then I just feel like the consistency with my post and the staying in contact with the people who comment on my post, it keeps the post alive. And then people just see that, Amy really loves this stuff. It must really work, or she wouldn't. One, they know I wouldn't be doing this if it didn't, because I've never done anything like this before. But just paying attention to people. And then when they do contact me about, okay, for example, a good friend of mine, she texts me about some eye serum, and she may even be on here, I don't know, but she texts me about some eye serum, and from the eye serum, she texts me about the eye serum, and I said, well, she was interested in some products. And I said, well, what are you interested in? And she said, well, some eye serum and possibly some other things. And then she went on to say the acne pads or whatever. Well, we talked for a few minutes, text. And then I said, can you call me? And she said, yeah, she called me. And so we started talking, and she said, we started talking about all the products. And then I said, well, the conversation went on after we talked about the price of this product and that product and using the whole set, the advanced skincare set and all that. And I said, well, the best bang for I'm just going to go down and tell you the best bang for your buck. And then you can decide if you just want 2 or 3 products, that's no big deal. But I'm just going to tell you what you can get for the better price. And so I started with a $1,000 skincare set. And I said, this is, she never really acted like she was interested in selling, but at the same time, she didn't act like totally not interested either. So I told her about the $1,000 package, and I said, it's 3 months, and it's a 3-month supply. You can use it for yourself, or if you decide to do the business, you'd have plenty of samples and whatnot. And then I went to the $750 and told her, that's a whatever supply. What is that supply? I just froze.
I don't even know.
But anyway, half of that or whatever. So anyway, and then I went down to the 500, and I told her that it's, a 30-day supply. And so I said, you need to give it, it's a 30-day money back guarantee, but whatever you use, you should give it 90 days. Like if you go to the dermatologist or the doctor or whatever, they ask you 90 days, 3 months. It's everything you do. It's come back in 3 months and we'll check you again. And so I said, 90 days you'll really know if you like the product or not. And I said, I guarantee you, because this is how I felt about myself. So I guarantee you, if you use this for 90 days and you stop using it, you're going to see what it's done for your skin. Even because, a lot of times you're the one looking at yourself all the time. You really don't see the difference. But then when you stop using it, just like I did, boy, you can feel it and you can see it. So that's just kind of what I said to her. And so we talked on a few more minutes, and she said, you know what? She said, you're so right about the using something for 90 days. And she said, that $1,000, she said, that'll get me 90 days. And she said, I'll know if I really like it or not. I said, you're exactly right. And I said, you can decide after that, what you want to do with it. She bought the $1,000 package.
So
she texted me for an eye serum.
Text you for eye serum.
I bought a $1,000 package.
Yeah, but did you notice what Amy did? Amy got her on the telephone. Because this is one thing when we first started, when Amy decided to do the business, okay, after I tricked her with Facebook and she made the post, people were wanting it. She's like, oh, okay. Then she got her paycheck. She's like, oh, this is really sweet. And she's like, okay, now how do I get people in the business? I said, Amy, how did I get you in the business? And what was your reply?
Said you called me and I really didn't want to talk to you.
And I said, but you see that? I called her. So she's like, you're right. So she went from that text message. I think that's where people, they're more comfortable talking behind a phone and not making it personal. So anybody, if Amy and I are talking, she's like, this person would be great. I said, well, call them. And that's the thing I think that she's so good at, because she told me, she said, I never invite anybody through Messenger, only maybe to a party. But when she wants somebody or talk to them, like today we were talking and she's like, oh, I got to call this person. She hung up to call them because they can hear her excitement. And Amy, don't you think too, I think Amy sells the opportunity like a pack, like anything else. It's her number one product is the opportunity, wouldn't you say? But she leads with why she loves it. Your friends don't want to be sold. They want to know what you love. Maybe you join this business and thinking, I have found a way to pay for my kids' college. I have found a way, but you have to lead, or you've tried the product. Your friends have to know what you love about it instead of just being, oh, you want to make money off of it. I mean,
well, here's the thing too. I feel like the package, even if somebody doesn't want to use it as a business, we all want to save money. Like if I go to the store, I want a good deal. And I feel like if everybody's being honest, everybody probably likes a good deal. And so when you present that $1,000 package to them, and it's 50% off, you're getting $2,000 worth of products for $1,000. I'm like, it's a no-brainer. I mean, if somebody can swing it, it's a no-brainer. Now, I always try to think about who I'm dealing with too, and understand their situations or whatever. But we want a good deal, and the $1,000 package, it's the best deal. And really, the $1,000 package, to me, it's either the $1,000 package or the $500 package.
Yeah, is
the better to me. But I mean, I'll sell any of them. Matter of fact, I really don't think I've ever sold a $750, honestly. I have no idea about it. But I either sell 1,000 or 500. Now I sold those $299s, several of those. But even the $299, when for example, one girl called me and she said she had a confession to make. She texted me. She said, okay, I want your deal. And I said, okay. And I said, okay, cool. And she said, asked me what all it was or whatever. And she said, well, I have a confession to make. She said, I ordered some day cream off Amazon. I was like, oh, okay. And anyway, we talked a few minutes, and I asked her if she could call me or whatever, and she did. And so we went from that $299 to $500. She said, I just really like to try it all. She said, I just want to try it all. And I said, well, okay. I said, then you do the 500. And I said, use it for 30 days and see how you like it. And then if you really like it, then you can get on and order yours at a discount at any time, even if you don't want to sell it or whatever. They're business people. You can use this for a tax write-off. and you can get your products at a discount at any time. And if you want to, you can sell to your mom and your sister and your aunt and get it free. And if you don't have to. And she was like, well, give me that $500 package. And so she bought, I upgraded her from that $299 to $500 just by saying that to her. And, and I always try to add in there, no pressure, do what you want to do. I'm just sharing with you the better values. And so I can't tell you the rest of that story,
but the story, you have to private message her on that, because I think somebody said, my husband will kill me if I spend $500.
But anyway, that was funny. But yeah, that's how I sold her the $500 I went from the $299 to the $500 like that with her. But so yeah.
So Amy, so what, because I know you've had people to ask you, like, because you kind of did this and you had a story, and I know you told some people, hey, everybody's going to get their story to tell. But in the meantime, you have to share other people's stories and be confident in that, because you're going to get your own story. So if you're new on here and you're thinking, oh, how is Amy doing it? What you didn't see was the past 4 years of me trying to get her, then getting her husband signed up, and then me going back and forth with her with product. Then asking her to post on Facebook. This didn't happen overnight, okay? So if you're seeing all these rank ups thinking, oh my gosh, she just signed, happened overnight. It was a process. And I think people, they just see everybody ranking up and they don't see the process, the stuff that you and I went back and forth. No one is seeing that. And now that she got her confidence in it, she's not afraid to share it with people, but she shares it with genuine love for the company. So if you're on here and you don't have your story yet, just share somebody else's story until you start getting it. Wouldn't you think that, Amy? What do you want to add to that? Because,
well, just think about yourself. Like, you're not gonna myself. Okay, I'm not gonna. I would have never probably used the product, period. But I've known Wendy for a long time, and I thought, well, it must be okay. Wendy's beautiful. Her skin's beautiful. It must be pretty good, So I'll just use this until I can get back to the dermatologist, So, like people wouldn't have bought this from me probably if they know I'm using it. They know I love it. They heard my spiel that, this is what I was using, and it's true. And I'm not just saying that. It really, it wasn't even great. It really wasn't even good. It was okay. But, so yeah, I think, people trust your story. And if you've just signed up and you're like, gosh, I can't get anybody. Nobody will even bite this. Well, you just signed up yesterday. You ain't even started using it yet. So use it a bit. Take your before picture, which I didn't even take a before picture. I did dig one up that, I felt like you could see a significant difference. But, wait, just be patient and give it time and get your story. This is why I love this. This is so good. Or, now I have even the story, not even the skincare, but the story with our best friends, their little boy who's autistic. And holy wow, when you start seeing your friends who live a very limited life begin to have a little freedom, and for the first time in their life, they can walk through an aquarium with their 16-year-old autistic son, you believe in the product. Yeah. And you can tell that to people, and people trust me. They know I'm not going to tell them, hey, Pikey walked through the aquarium and was so good. I'm not just going to say that. It's the truth. He's going to sleep in 8 to 13 minutes. So you'll begin to get your own stories, and people will appreciate them, and they'll begin to want to jump on with you.
And but when you just started, don't be afraid because maybe you didn't wait as long as Amy to get a story. Then use your friend's story. So if you're friends with Amy, use her story. They're like, oh, does that really work? My friend Amy Todd was the biggest skincare snob ever. Use her story. And
I even tell, my close, some of my cousins, Terry and Heather, that have joined this with me, I even tell them, use my story. You really don't have a story yet. Use mine and tell them, Amy's a little snob about stuff sometimes. And this, her skincare, she wasn't going to use, she didn't just use anything, tell them that. And, use me until you get your own. And when you have your own, people will begin to trust you more and more.
Yeah. And like she said earlier, because I know we were having some issues with on here, but she was saying, about she cares and loves and she has that relationship with them. She's just not trying to sell them. It's not, because I know if you're on here and you're new, one of the first things that you can mess up on, because I did it. We want to vomit New Aura on people, send them all this information. And somebody asked me the other day, they're like, I sent this out to 2,000 people and it was like pages of stuff. Nobody's, first of all, going to read it. But I said, if you do, I said, that's okay. We all did it. Just go back and say, be honest. I said, oh my gosh, I got so excited. I just sent you, an encyclopedia on New York. I apologize. Just call it out for what it is. And just because you need to be normal. So for example, like if you were going down the street right now and you ran into somebody you went to high school with, maybe haven't not saw in 20 years, you wouldn't run up to that person and say, oh my gosh, you need to buy this. I'm selling New Aura. You'd be great. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. You would never say that to a normal person. You would go up to them and say, oh my gosh, how have you been? It's been forever. I see those kids on Facebook. You would talk to them first. So if you'll just take and not be stressed about being competitive too, because a lot of us, I'm a competitive person. What'll happen, you'll see some people rank up fast, and then you'll see some people go down the road and all of a sudden they blow up, rank up 2 and 3 times later on. Everybody's going to have their story. It's just focused on being real. I think this thing with Amy, everybody's like, what's Amy doing? I see that pretty girl. Amy's very real with people. She'll have you laughing, and she's telling people how good they're going to look in the stuff, and she's not afraid. And Amy does it every day. Like, she's very consistent. I don't know if anybody was on Team New Aura today, but that's something every day. Once she started it, she asked me, she's like, okay, what I need to do? And I said, well, just do what you're doing consistently. And she said, what was it? Your thumbs were like, her hand, she wasn't working in the salon that day, but she'd burn up her hands just typing people back and forth and answering questions, being consistent, reaching out to those people. And she made a list. I'm like, Amy, who do you think would be good? Then we started calling them.
Don't act like you know everything. Like, I'm like, play dumb. Like I think I told maybe been Heather that today. I'm like, just play dumb. Just tell them you don't know, but it's good. It's real good, and you'll want to get you some of it. Just be silly and just be like, it is $90, but I'm going to tell you, it's worth $1,000. Get you some of it. It's a 30-day money back guarantee. You have nothing to lose. I don't pretend like I know everything. And I'll even say to people, you know what? I don't know that, but I can find out. Give me just a second. And, I'll text Wendy, or even I'll text Sarah, or, whoever, and find out. You don't have to be,
you don't have to all the answers.
Like I told my sister-in-law, she's an attorney. And I told her, I'm like, stop being so lawyery. You're being way too professional. This doesn't have to be that way. Make it fun and be like, gosh, I don't know, but my wrinkles are looking better. My eyes look so much better, and those sunspots are disappearing, and it's awesome. You just need to get you some. It's really good. Just be dumb. Be real. So that's really what I do.
Well, one day I want to cut this. So her and I were traveling to do a party. And she'd only been doing it, a week or two. She didn't know time. And she's talking to this girl on the phone. And the girl's like, okay, send me some information. And Amy said, no, you're trying to get me off the telephone. I don't want to sell you anything. I want you to join me. And I thought, she called her out on it. She's like, I ain't sending you information. I'm not trying to sell you anything, she said. I want you to do this with me.
I want you with me. So I see my little friend Kristen down there too. And she didn't want to be with me from the beginning, but she's with me now. So, but yeah, it's like, I don't know. I always try to tell people too, like, I'm not just trying to sell you something. Like, if they mention it to me, just like sitting at the ballpark the other day. This girl asked me about acne pads. Move over there. Okay. She asked me about acne pads, and we were just sitting in lounge chairs at the ballpark, and I said, yeah. So they're good. They're really, really good. And she said, I think I'm going to get some for my little girl. And I said, okay. And she said, well, she asked me some questions about it or whatever. And she said, well, how do I get it? And I said, well, we can order them right here. I said, let me get my phone out. I said, you get your debit card out, and I'll get my phone out, and we'll get them for you, and and I told her, I said, don't feel like I'm trying to sell you something. I said, it's a 30-day money back guarantee. If you don't like it, send it back. It's not going to hurt me. It's not going to hurt you. Just send it back. If you don't like it, you're not obligated to it. So I always try to throw that in there to people. You're not obligated. If you don't like it, don't ever hesitate to send it back. And I really mean that. If you don't like it, don't keep it. But they always like it.
They do. And I mean, I think that's the best. So she's just very authentic. It's just not, I think everybody's looking for that. Somebody else said this to you, Amy. They said they wanted a template. Everybody, your friends want real stuff. They don't want a template, perfect verbiage. People can pick up on that. And that's what Amy's like, she's very real with them and tells them, what it's going to do for them. And everybody's laughing, and it's fun. I think everybody thinks when you join, they're like, oh, I'm no salesperson, I have to learn to be a salesperson. Our stuff works. So what would you add anything to that?
Well, I just think too, like I said, I've really never I didn't have to, I guess, because I got started after I'd used the product for a substantial amount of time. But so I never really messaged people about the business or even about the product. Like I said, I always paid attention to people if they messaged me or text me or called me or whatever. But people know if let's be real, we all get them. Everybody want you to buy a pampered chef or jewelry or whatever. They know it's a copy and pasted message. Okay, so think about how you feel when you see in your inbox or on your telephone that message that says, hey, Kristen. Okay, you're just erasing Kristen every time you send that message and putting Amy or Heather in, I mean, that's just, people know you're doing that. And you've got to be personal with people and build a relationship with them before you ever try to sell them something. And so I never do that, and I don't really recommend anybody doing that unless it's a really special situation that you just really want to reach out to this person and you have a relationship with them maybe already. To do that. Otherwise, I don't do that. I don't like people chasing me down wanting me to sell something. I ran from Wendy every time I see her, I'm like, get over here. But no, not really. But I mean, we don't like that. Nobody does.
They know if it's personal. So, and I think that's been the biggest thing with you. And then also, don't be afraid to ask for a referral.
Yeah, that's really
done a bunch with that.
Yes, my friend Haley down in Tennessee. I asked Wendy, I'm like, well, what do I do now? I want to get some people with me. She was like, I'll tell you what to do. She said, call somebody. Ask for a referral. She's like, get out of here. Let's get out of here. So I was like, she asked me about my friends and family, out of state and stuff. And so I was like, I immediately thought of my cousin Jan. Jan's like 60s, in her 60s, mid 60s probably, but she's cute as she can be and just fun. And I thought, Jan lives 6 hours away from here in the state of Tennessee. If she doesn't want to do it, she will know somebody that does. So I called Jan on the phone and I said, hey, I'm using this product and I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. But not only am I loving it, I'm making some money. And I said, would you be interested in doing that? She was like, her dad had just passed away and she had a lot going on. And she said, Jamie, I just got so much going on. I just don't think I can do it right now. And I said, okay. Well, I said, do you know anybody down there that would? I said, would you help me do that? And she said, I will. Give me a day or two and I will. And she texted me and she said, I went to my little hairdresser, Haley, and she said, I told her about your stuff. And she said I could give you her phone number. And I said, okay. So I called Haley, and if I'm remembering correctly, this was on Tuesday, right?
I think so.
This was on Tuesday. I called her, and she said, I said, my cousin Jan told me that she told you that I might be calling you about some stuff that I'm using and selling. And I said, I'd like to tell you a little bit about it. Would you be interested? And she said, no, not really. And I was like, seriously? Oh my gosh. And I said, okay. I said, well, I tell you what. I said, will you give me like 3 to 5 minutes? And I said, I promise you, I will shut up and not keep you on here. I'll hang up. Just listen to me. And I literally just told her the story that I told you in the beginning, and about, my husband buying the kit and me throwing it away, blah, 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 blah. And then I told her about the money. And look, I always say everybody works hard. If you work, you work hard. You have your own hard. Some of it, like I tell my sister-in-law, she's an attorney. Hers is mentally hard. She's using her brain all day long and crunching numbers and, creating documents and, doing all that stuff. My husband is hard labor. He's a construction worker. A hairstylist, look here, this little arm, it gets tired after 10 hours in there raising that arm up, and shoulders hurting, your neck's hurting, your feet are hurting. You haven't ate or used the bathroom all day. I mean, it's hard. And so, I knew she had the same feelings that I did about it. Look, I'm 41 years old. You can't hold your bladder all day long like you used to, okay? So when you don't get a bathroom break all day long, it's hard, okay? So I always say this, like when I'm telling somebody about the business. When I started clicking that one button saying deposit all, that was very liberating for me. It felt good. It felt real good. I mean, I was working, but I was just using my fingers working or talking. I like to talk. So that wasn't real hard for me, but that is liberating. That is very liberating for somebody that stands on their feet and works 10, 12 hours a day, sometimes 14, and you're smiling and you're slobbering and hugging all over everybody and just being so sweet. And sometimes you don't want to. And your husband's texting you, fussing at you to get home. And it's hard. It is very hard. And so when I started putting that money in the bank, that's all it took for me. I love the product, and the money just kept getting better. And I hope it keeps getting better. But that was a big thing for me. I mean, it was so easy. I was sitting here thinking, deposit all. Is this real life? Is this real life? This is real life. Like, that went in my checking account like 15 minutes later. It's very liberating.
Yeah. So she related to Haley, and Haley may be on here, but she's the hairstylist that Lexus qualified in 2 weeks from
I got the story. See, I got to talking and I got like all twisted.
Yeah. But you see how calling people is huge. That's why when everybody's looking for that verbiage to text people, from the main beginning, with Amy and Haley both, it's like, call people. Because we went, like Amy said, it was a Tuesday. When we were in Tennessee, Thursday?
We called her on Tuesday. The next day, she signed up with a $1,000 package. And so that was Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, I said to Wendy, I said, we got to get down there. Wendy said, just to call her and ask her if she can do a party. It said, tell her she can get 8 to 12 people. We'll be down there on Thursday. I said, okay.
This is 10 o'clock the night before.
Midnight, we had 12 confirmed. And then Wendy about wanted to back out. She was like, you really think she'll have that many people there? I'm like, I don't know, but we ain't backing out. We go. So we went, and honey, she did. She had those people there, and she is so happy, let me tell you, that she listened to me.
She gave her that 3 to 5 minutes. So when you heard of us talking about parties, we went down there, and Haley, because it was a trip, she scheduled 2 parties at 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I think they come in around $10,000 in parties. But it was a new market, and it's not, you got to get out of your comfort zone and get uncomfortable. But that's the thing. Amy is just great at being real and calling people and telling them why. So I don't know if anybody wants to put on chat, if you have a quick question or anything that she can answer, or Amy, anything you want to add or close with. I know there's a couple.
Oh, me? That I want to add? Not really. I mean, honestly, my thing is just be real with people. You want people to be real with you. Just be real and be honest. And, if somebody gives you the opportunity to tell them about the product, don't shy away. Don't vomit on them, as Wendy says, but just be, have good posture, and don't be like, oh my God, let me say something. But, just be cool. Be like, hey, I mean, if you buy it, you don't like it, send it back. It's not a big deal at all. So I just say just be cool and calm, and don't vomit on people and push it on them, and there you go.
And how can I push through no? Someone just asked.
How can I push through a no?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. If somebody tells me no, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't like sit there and just like hound them to death. Like, bless and release. My friend Amy, she's in direct sales, and that's one thing that she says is bless and release. And I even told my Heather, my cousin that's on here, I even told her the other day, I'm like, bless and release her and move on to somebody else.
Yep. Because there's people praying for this stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't just hold on to that one no. You just go to the next person.
Right.
So, but again, it's your posture and your confidence. People are looking at you. If you're sitting back and thinking, oh my gosh, they're not going to join, or it's too expensive, they're reading that. Amy looks at them. Amy's pretty much told them how great they're going to look, how much they're going to love it. And it's her posture. And she's like, I'm honest. I'm not trying to sell you anything. And she says that to them and they read that confidence, it's a game changer. That's why somebody that'll message her about eye serum will sign with $1,000 package, because it's her posture. She has them fall in love with the product, and she leads with the best value and puts it in their court.
And another thing is, like, a girl said this to me the other day. She said, before she bought the $250 skincare set, and then she signed up last week with a $500 package. She said, before I did this, before I bought that $250 skincare set, she said, I went to, I don't know, she said Walgreens or Walmart, and she said, I was looking at eye cream. She said, well, a nice eye cream at, a store like Walgreens or Walmart or whatever, it's $40. So why would you spend $40 on something that may or may not work, and you don't know what's in it? Like, I'm not some big, like, huge organic person, but it is nice to know that it's a clean product. So why would you spend $40 on something that may or may not work when you can get this for $60 and it's clinically proven to work?
Yep.
So that's one thing I do say too. Why go buy this face wash and that face wash and have 3 or 4 face washes sitting on your bathroom sink when you can buy this one and not have to, like, float around everywhere and buy something?
Yep.
So anyway, so I do add that a lot too.
How do you say someone likes your comments? When someone likes or comments on your before and after photos, what do you say?
When they like it?
Yeah.
Well, when they like it, I don't say anything. I don't say anything to someone that's liked my comment.
Right.
It lets me know that they're watching, but I don't say anything to them. If they comment on it, then I do. But just like the girl that I was telling you about earlier that said she had a confession that she'd ordered it off of Amazon, and then she wound up buying the $500 package from me. One of her first things that she said to me was, okay, I've been watching your post. I'm going to admit, I've been watching your post. You know how many people have told me that? They've never commented or even liked a thing that I put on Facebook. But they said, I've been watching it. I've been seeing it. So sometimes when you make a post, you don't get 1 ounce of action off of it. That does not mean that you're really not getting action off of it. You really are. People are watching it. And that was one thing Wendy told me early on. I'm like, I get embarrassed when I post something and nobody likes it, and it's just hanging out there, But because I'll be honest, I have a little, I don't as much now, but I had a little social media anxiety, like, like, I won't do that. No, everybody might ignore me, or nobody would buy that off me, But they're watching it. I promise you, they're watching it. So.
All right. Well, listen, I thank you, Amy, for jumping on. Her and I have to go pack. We're heading to Florida tomorrow. So I just got in, but I wanted you guys just to hear just how real and how fun. Like, there's no script that she's using. I wish there was a secret sauce that we all had, this magic one, but it really is just calling, talking to people, being excited, asking for referrals, and doing it consistently over and over with a great attitude, because people are watching, they're reading you, and when they're around Amy, they're seeing it, and you just pick up on it. Like, and it's it's like that law of attraction. The energy starts getting out. Like Amy would message me, just like, I got a brand partner. I mean, it's just that adrenaline. And then she texts me and she's like, I got another one. But you start feeding, it's like, oh, if you get that customer, when you go out there and you do that happy dance, you got a customer. It's the same way. If you can get a customer, you can get a brand partner. You can. I mean, it's that same energy, that same happy dance. People are reading you. So when you go out there like, woohoo, I got a brand partner. And it was contagious. So she had messaged me. And then, I think the last day of the month, she got 4 or 5. And she's like, it was just that energy that she was putting out to the world. They were seeing it. People, when they see you're excited about something, people want to be a part of it. People want to be a part of Amy's team because she's excited. Super excited. She's telling people how much she loves the product, how good her skin is. She's telling about the business. Hey, you need to just do this. She's selling the business truly like it's a product. It's just a better deal. But she leads with the stories of the love. Your friends want to know why you love it. They don't want to be sold. And I think every day we're talking to people, she's just, like I said, so real, from talking on the phone to saying, hey, honey, I'm not trying to sell you anything, but you need to do this. This stuff is good, And I think sometimes we're so afraid to tell people that. And let them know, hey, it's not just a sales thing. So, Amy, thanks so much. Thank you guys for jumping on. And it was recorded, so I will download this to YouTube later and put it out here. So, all right, Amy, anything else? I appreciate you so much. We're having lots of fun. And the more fun you have in this business, the better you'll move in this business. But pick up your phone, call people, step out of your comfort zone, have the parties. Even like Amy said, Amy's got a lot of people. She's had tons of no-shows at parties. She's like, she calls them. I mean, most of hers has been calling them. She signed most brand partners by calling. So, does anybody else have any questions really quick? And we're going to get to hop off and start packing. All right, everybody send them. Yes. Somebody unmute. They have a question for us?
No, but thank you so much. This was great.
You're very welcome. Told you, Amy's a hoot. Like I said, she's got some things that we have a lot of fun. That's one thing we do. Lots of fun.
Just gotta have fun with it. People want to have fun. I mean,
Amy, you're going to become famous for be dumb and be real. I just got to tell you that. just be dumb and be real. Thank you.
I don't know it. I just play dumb and I don't know. Let me call Wendy.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. It's going to be famous.
Well, I think a lot of people want to join and they want to know all the answers. And, people ask me, well, how do you get paid? How do you get this? To this day, I don't even know, because Amy will even ask me, she'll say, people ask me how they get paid. And I'm like, oh, we can show you that. But when you start, don't worry about that stuff. Go out there and tell more people about the products, what you love, and about the business. And then you can learn that stuff backwards. And I think that's it. You don't have to, like I said, you don't have to know. Just say, I don't know. And, and have a lot of fun. But right now's the time we should be bringing people into the business. We got all these promotions going on. And that's how you grow a business fast. So if you've watched her grow fast, it's by having lots of fun and really calling people and then being consistent every day. She don't take off 2 or 3 days to say, oh, I've had a lot on weekend. She's been at the beach. She's at the beach, at the ballpark. She texts me. She got several customers by sitting there talking to people at the ballpark. And, but she ain't throwing, hey, you need to buy it on people. She's like, oh my gosh, this is good stuff. Look at these pictures, So that's the thing. So I appreciate it so much. Amy got a cute girl sitting there. Hey, Miss Ellen. I figured she was going to add something in there, Bo.
She can do it. So.
All right, guys. Thanks again for jumping on, and I will post the recording later here. I'll download it, and thanks so much. Amy, I appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys.